Okay, so we have started the stream. Am I visible to you guys? I hope so. Okay. Okay, so am I audible and visible? Now I hope so. Okay. So guys, let us start. Let us continue our class. I was telling you about the C++. So welcome guys. Good afternoon everyone. This is Ashank David, and in today's live session we are going to talk about C++ object oriented. This is the continuation and the third session for C++ object oriented, and in today's class we will be discussing about the constructors and destructors part and finish up that part as well, so that our implementation of object oriented programming is over. And after that is over, we are going to start with the 4 pillars of object oriented programming, and we will finish up this. Most probably I'll try to finish it off this weekend. By this week I'll be finishing this. So without any further ado, let's get right into the topic. This is Ashank David. Welcome to Coders Arcade. One more thing I would like to just tell you about this live stream is, please do share and like this live stream to more people, as this live stream can help a lot of people who are learning C++ object oriented programming. So please do share this stream and allow this stream to reach as many people as possible, so that we are able to learn all of it quickly. Alright guys, let us continue. Let us start. In the today's class we will be talking about all of that which we have left from the previous class. So this is what we have actually done in the previous session, where I have said the about the constructor. In this case I have said the constructor in this case, where I was telling you, let's quickly revise it. Okay, what I said, basically I said that while you are creating an object oriented programming in C++, this is OOPS concept in C++. So you see, I told you in any language, either it is Java or Python or C or C++, not in C though, but object oriented programming languages, those languages which supported object oriented programming, you have to follow these 4 steps. First of all, create the class. Second is to create the attributes. Then is to create the methods, and at last you have to create the objects. I told you there are 2 ways that using which you will be able to write a program. One way is gonna be when you don't have the attributes, and another is when you have the attributes for a particular class. Now, for example, when I took the hello class example, I told that there are no attributes to the class, so we did not write any constructor. But in terms of the student class or employee class or car class or animal class, we had the attributes, and we have understood this really well. Okay, I have also explained you about the static keyword, how we use the static keyword with the functions in object oriented programming, whether it is C++ or Java. This is already done. Then I have explained you about the attribute section. So classes with attributes, here attributes are the properties which are common to a particular class. So in this case, class with attributes. So let's say for example, the student has the attributes name and roll number, while employee has the attributes employee name, employee ID, employee salary. Okay, well, similar to that, car has brand, manufacturing date and color. Similar to that, these are all your attributes, and those are the classes. So classes with attributes. Whenever I have taught you this, whenever you have attributes of a class, whenever a class has attributes, you write the constructors. Remember this very carefully. Whenever your class has an attribute like this, you write a constructor. So here we came to constructors. What are constructors? Constructors are the specialized functions which has the same name as the class name. I have explained this to you, right? This is what constructor is, and For example, class student we had, so its constructor would be student, and it is a function, so it has this parenthesis. I have explained you this. So constructors are used for initializing the class's attributes, and also their main job is to create the object. So two things I have told you that constructors they do. First of all, they create the object. So who is responsible for creating the object in the back end of the program? Constructors. Remember this. Okay. Whenever you are instantiating a class or creating the object of that class, constructor is the one who actually creates the object. Remember this always, and this is asked in interviews. Okay. In face-to-face round, when we are talking about object-oriented programming, a question can be raised like this, that what is a constructor and what is the main job of a constructor in that case? Why do we use constructor? So in that case, you have to say that constructor is the function which has the same name as the class name. Its main functionality is that it is responsible for creating the object, and also it initializes the object's attributes to the class. Understood? So in this case, so as the name suggests, constructor is someone whose job is to construct or build something, and that is the reason why constructor will not have a return type. Understood? Constructor is the only function in the whole programming concept which doesn't have a return type. Are you getting my point? Which doesn't have a return type, and for that reason we don't write the return types. Okay, so none of the constructors will have a return type. Okay, they are used for building. For example, see the example here. You have object as, you have the class as car is the class, and you have the object as BMW. So in that case, BMW will have the attribute, let's say, color and manufacturing date. So who made this BMW? Constructor built this BMW as the object of this class called as car, and its object is color and manufacturing date. Who will initialize these two values to the attributes? Who is responsible? Well, constructor is responsible. Constructor will create the object and will initialize these attributes to its objects. Who will give the values? Constructor will give the values. This is what you call as initialization of attributes using the constructor. Okay, whenever an object is created, the constructors are called. And how to code for this? So we have just started our coding part, where I have explained you that we have created a car class, and in the public of the class we have written, the public section of the class we have written color and manufacturing date, as you can see, where this color and manufacturing dates are the attributes of the car because the car has them. So think about it, if the car class has color and manufacturing date, if when you initialize, when you instantiate it, wait a second guys, LV, wait a second guys, okay, I hope so that I am back. My camera shut it down actually for a moment. Yeah, we will continue. Yeah, okay, now we are back. Alright, so in this case, yeah, so we were at the class car. So for the car class, we had string color and int manufacturing date as the attribute, and the attributes are possessed by the car object. So when we create a car object, here we have created the car object, we have said int main, I have said car BMW. So car is the class and BMW is the object here, and we have passed what? We have passed the attributes parameter. Understood? So in this case, let's say the car color was, this BMW's color is red and it is manufactured in 1997. In that case, what happens is that this string color is the parameter which we have taken it from here. Okay, this is what you call as parameterized constructor. Okay, where we are having the attributes of that class inside the parameter of the constructor. So whose job was to take the value and initialize it? Constructor, right? So what did I do is I wrote these attributes as the parameter of this constructor, And when I did this, as soon as you created the object out of it, because this was the constructor call, as I have already explained in the previous class, if you haven't watched that, please do watch and come. This was what? This is the constructor call, this parenthesis. And when your constructor is getting called, it has the attributes color and manufacturing date, so we have to give it here. So I said the color is red and manufacturing date is 1997. So in this case, in the body of this constructor, I have written this dot color equals to color. This dot color equals to color. What is this keyword? I will come to this keyword very soon, but you see here that the color, this dot color is this part is actually this color. Are you getting my point? This color is actually the above, the car's attributes color as a variable. But on the other hand, this color is actually this color, as you can see. I hope so that this is very much visible, that the variables are highlighted automatically. When I touch this color, it is actually that color. Understood? And this color is actually this color. So the connections are made like this. Again, I am saying, just watch here carefully. What I am going to do is, now you see I am going to mark down the code. Okay, so now you see here. What happens is that this red, what you see here, is gone here, right here in this color as the parameter. And then this color passes that value to this color. This color passes this value to this color, and this is connected to here. I hope so that this connection is very much clear to all of you guys. I hope so. Correct? Right? So in this case, this is happening. On the other hand, this 1997 will be gone into this manu date or manufacturing date, which will be set equals to this manufacturing date. This is set to this, and this is gonna send it to this. These are the collection. These are the connections made. I hope so that this is very much clear in today's class. For the final time, I am repeating this and I am explaining this to you very clearly, that the object's parameter will be passed to the constructor's parameter, and then those constructor parameters will be passed back to the original attributes in this case. This is how object oriented programming works. Understood this very well, everyone? Now moving on. This is your constructor. One more thing, whenever you create an object, constructors are automatically called. That is the reason why when you don't have an attribute, you don't write any constructor, but automatically the program creates those constructor into your program for your use. I guess so that it is very much clear to all of you. You have understood? Okay. Now next, similarly, if I create one more, let us say, if I create one more object, for example, I said car, I said Audi this is, and I said this is white, this is 2001. What happens is that this white goes into the color, and that color is set to this color, okay, and 2001 goes to the manufacturing date, which is set to this, which is set to this. So each and every object has its own attribute and its values, okay. Yes, please explain overriding and overloading topics. Also, it is very confusing. Yes, first we are finishing the basics of object oriented, Ritesh, and then I will be going towards inheritance and polymorphism. In polymorphism, I will explain you what is overloading and overriding. I don't think so that it is going to come today, but I will see that if I am able to cover it in time. Alright, Ritesh. Actually, that is the concept from polymorphism, and polymorphism concept will be coming after this is over. I am going to start with inheritance, and in after inheritance we will do polymorphism. So there we will see the concept. I will explain you what is overloading, what is overriding, and there in the polymorphism part I will be explaining you. So that is the part of compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. I will explain you in a very quick manner. So don't worry about it. I am going to reach there as well. That is in the polymorphism concept. Right now, let's finish up this quickly as possible, and my target is to finish these 4 p.m. classes as soon as possible at the weekend. Today we are already in Thursday, and I wanted these classes to be get over till Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, by day after tomorrow. So most probably by day after tomorrow I will be finishing up this whole thing. So I need to also quickly go fast, so we'll try to finish it as much as possible. I hope so that this part is very much clear. So constructor is very much clear, and this is the object. Now guys, I told you something about default constructor. Okay, when you don't have any, say for example here, let me just take an example here for your basics. I am going to create another C++ file here. Let's say I am going to create the demo1.cpp. Here I am going to write here very quickly hash include IOStream using namespace std and int main, and I am going to explain you this, return 0. Okay, I said here that I have created a class which doesn't have the attribute. I have a class which doesn't have the attribute. What does it means? Let's say I have a class called as demo. Okay, I have a class called as demo. I hope so that this is very much clear. Let's say I have a class called as demo. Okay, and in this demo class I have public. Okay, inside this I have this. All right, so now I will be okay, so I have a class called as demo, and in this demo class I have not created any constructor, or let's say rather than saying demo, I said hello. This is the first program that I have created. I said that here we will be creating void print hello. Okay, and here I was saying cout hello. Okay, so this was done, and here what I was doing, I was creating the object. How did we create the object of the class? Hello, and then obj, and then here I was saying obj dot print hello. So this was happening. So guys, you see that the program runs fine, but the problem is that there is no problem as well. See, the output is coming, but the thing is that here I have not used any constructor. You see carefully, see the difference between this program and this program. See the difference between this program and this program. You see, in this program I have used a constructor, while in this program I have not used any constructor. Why I did not use any constructor? Because I did not know the attributes of hello class. But on the other hand, I was knowing about the car attributes, so I had the attributes written down. So to initialize them I have used the constructor, but in this case the constructor is not there. What I have explained you, that whenever you are writing any object oriented program, if the class has the attributes, then you write the constructor. If the class doesn't have any attributes, you skip the constructor. But also I have told you this, that the constructors are very important to create the objects, as the objects are created with the help of the constructor, right? So how we can prove this, that objects are automatically spawning the constructors. Basically constructors are automatically created and called whenever you create an object. For that, now carefully see this program which I am gonna show you. I am going to say class demo. Okay, I am going to say here class demo. Listen to this very carefully, what I am going to say next, and I am going to show you. You see that in this demo class I have a default constructor. Now people wondering what is the default constructor, how it looks like. This is how a default constructor looks like. In the public section of this class I created a demo like this, and I did not pass any parameter. This is a non-parameterized constructor, or a default constructor in this case. A default constructor is also a non-parameterized constructor, which is usually you don't write. Why you don't write? Because there are no attributes to initialize. So when there are no attributes to initialize, why should we write it? Correct? That is the reason why I was saying that when you don't have the attribute, you don't write any constructor, but when you have the attribute, you have to write the constructors like this. On the other hand, I have intentionally created this for our purpose, on purpose, so that we are able to understand that this theory that constructors are automatically called and created whenever the object is created. So to do that, what I am going to do is I have created a default constructor by default forcefully, and here inside I am going to write one line called as cout. Look at this very carefully. I am a constructor, I have written, okay, and end L. I have written I am a constructor, okay, okay guys, I have written I am a constructor. So class demo, in the public section, in the demo I have created the constructor and I have said I am a constructor. Now if the theory says that whenever an object is created, constructors are automatically called even if you do not create them or provide them anything, this is true. How? You see, I am gonna create a object of this class. Is it compulsory to define object for creating the constructor? Is it compulsory to define object for creating the constructor? No, actually you did not understand me what I was saying. I said that, you see, constructors is something which we write sometimes, which we do not write sometimes, which means constructors are totally optional into the program. Constructors are totally optional into programming. Listen to this very carefully. We create constructors only when a class has attributes. Listen to this very carefully. Now in this case, class is demo. Do you know the attribute of demo class? I do not know. So I do not usually write the constructor in this case, generally. But on this case, I have a class car. Now car has attribute, yes, car has attribute like color and manufacturing date. When you have an attribute of a class, there you write a constructor compulsory. In these kind of places you have to compulsory write the constructor. Why? Because constructors are the only ones who can initialize these attributes to the class. Understood my point? For example, when car was used to create the object BMW, BMW started automatically possessing color and manufacturing date. Who the hell will give the values to the color and manufacturing date? The constructor will do. This is the reason why we say this dot color equals to color. In Java we use dot, in C++ we use this arrow. It is exactly the same as what you do in Java. In C++ also it is exactly the same. You see, again I am saying, listen to this very carefully. The constructor is going to take the value from the object creation and it is going to set this value to this. That is, this is how your constructor is going to set the values to the attributes. But in the terms of demo class, we do not have any attribute. So there is nothing to initialize. So for that reason, we do not write constructor. But you see, even if you do not write the constructor, listen to this very carefully. Even if you do not write the constructor, still the constructor will get created in the backend. Because constructor's other job is to create the object. Constructor is used for two things, as I told you, creation of objects and initializing the attributes. In this case, we do not have the attributes, so we do not write the constructor. But constructor will be required to create the object, no. Constructor will be used to create the object or no, right? That is very important, right? So you see that to prove this, I have forcefully I have intentionally created a default constructor like this, where I have said I am a constructor. And now when I just create the object, you see that is gonna get called. How to create the object? I said demo obj1. That's it. I have created the object. And when I run this program, you see that it calls it, I am a constructor. Did I call any constructor explicitly here? No. I did not call the constructor myself. But still, whenever the object is created, this is automatically called. Because to create the object, this constructor is required here. Even though its other job is not getting fulfilled of initializing the attribute, because there are no attributes here. Still it is going to be used for creation of the object. Hence proved, constructors are used to construct or build something, and what is that build something? Objects in this case. Not only constructors, they do create the objects, but also they do initialize the objects attributes which are common to the class. I hope so that this is very much clear. Okay, that means if I create multiple objects, then it will call the constructor those many number of times, correct? Correct. If the object is calling then creating this constructor, then multiple objects should call this constructor multiple times for the proof. Let us do that. I will say here demo obj2. I said demo obj3. Three objects I have created. That means it should print I am a constructor, I am a constructor, I am a constructor 3 times according to the theory. Yes, let's run it, and you see that it says I am a constructor 3 times, which actually proves that whenever the object is created, constructor is automatically called. Understood this very much clearly to everyone? Okay, this was very important to understand. Now this was all about constructor, guys, but one more thing, if there is a constructor, we also have the opposite, destructor. If you are a Java fan, then there is no destructor in Java, sorry to say that. But in C++, yes, we have a destructor. Listen to this very carefully, guys. If you have a constructor, then you have a destructor. And if the constructor is used to create the object, then destructor is used to destroy the object, or it is used primarily for freeing up the space. I hope so that this is very much clear to all of you. Okay, but Java people, destructors are not there in Java. Why? What is the difference here? Listen to this very carefully. So Java doesn't have a destructor. Java doesn't support the concept of destructors, because Java, half of the things are managed and done by JRE. Are you getting my point? What I am trying to say? JRE does most of the job. Job of what? All the deletion and cleaning part. We do not have to worry about any garbage collection, because Java has its own garbage collection. We don't have to worry about freeing up the space. We don't have to worry about deleting up anything. We don't have to worry about destroying the object in Java, because in Java half of the things are automated, because Java has its own garbage collection. And who watches this garbage collection thingy? JRE, Java Runtime Environment. Remember this, guys, always. But in C++, you do not have any Java runtime environment, right? C is a very old language, 1982 we are talking about. In that case, C++ did not support all these concepts at that time. That is why in C++ we have the concept like pointers, which Java doesn't have. Then we have dynamic memory allocation, malloc, calloc, realloc, free, new, delete, which again Java doesn't have that. If you talk about new keyword, Java has that, new, where when you create an object in Java, you use new keyword, right? But that new is very different from this new in C++. Understood my point? Java's new keyword calls the JRE for allocation of the memory, while in C++, new keyword is used for dynamically allocating memory, that is DMA. It replaces the malloc, calloc and realloc part. Understood my point? So that is way too much different. This is the place where we learn about destructors. Destructors are those specialized functions which again has the same name as the class name. Guys, if you were thinking that the class is the only function that has the same name as the class name, then you are wrong. Even destructor has it. But the thing is that if constructors are constructing the objects, then destructors are destroying the objects, right? Yes, of course. But how do we code for it, and what is the difference here? Let us see. So guys, this is your constructor. Everyone is seeing here. this is the constructor. Okay, this is the constructor, this was the constructor. Now this is the destructor. You put a tilde symbol and then you say demo, the same name, same exact thing, but you put a negation or tilde symbol before the constructor, and that becomes a destructor. This is the destructor in object oriented programming, which Java doesn't supports. Why? Because Java has half of the things job done automatically. Java has its own garbage collection which does the job of this destructor automatically as well. But in C++ we don't have this, and for that reason we have destructors in C++. Now don't worry about this, because you don't have to use it everywhere anytime. This is also going to get called automatically even if you don't create a destructor in your program. So as soon as your program is about to terminate, don't worry, destructors will destroy the objects for you and the memory will be freed up. Understood my point? So you don't have to worry about that. But you should know about this, because this is again asked in interviews for your kind information. Understood? So here destructors are the specialized function which again has the same name as the class name, but their job is to destroy the object or free up the space. And how do we do that? We do it like this. Now you can use any dynamic memory allocation, free keyword or delete keyword to do the job inside the destructor. But here in this case I am just going to call this as I am a destructor and NL. So I have written here I am a destructor like this. So in this case what happens is that, as I told you, that whenever an object is created, the constructors are automatically called. Similarly, that whenever an object is created and the program is about to end, automatically the destructors are even called, and when this happens the object gets deleted and the program gets terminated. Let us run this off. That means when your objects are created, constructors and destructors both are getting called. So in this case 3 times constructor is printed and 3 times destructor is printed. I hope so that this is an amazing concept to learn. Correct? This is how it is done. But I hope so that this is very much clear to all of you. And that is all about the basics of object oriented programming, guys. We have done how to write this programs. I will finish up the program though, the first one which we are doing on the class one, and I'll tell you about this keyword also. Wait, this keyword is also very important. So let me finish this off. I'll go back to this program. As you can see in the car class, I have said that string color, and in manufacturing I have created the constructor already. And what I'm going to do is next is create a method. Let's say I'm going to create a method. Object is already created, but we have not done one thing, and that is create the method. So right now if I run this program, nothing happens with the program because I have not written any method. When I have not written any method, this program doesn't have anything to do in this case. So I'll just write a method here and finish this program off, also explaining about this keyword. So quickly see this. So in this case, let's say I'm going to create a function called as void print details. Okay, this is a function which is going to print the details. So here I'm going to say the car name is, the car color is, or I'm going to say here the object name, right? So in this case what I'll do is, I'll do one thing. I'll say here or let's do one thing. I'll say car color is, and I'm going to say here the color and L. Understood? And I'll say cout car manufacturing date is, I'm going to say here manu date and end L. So see what I have done is, I have done is in the print detail I have said car color is color and the car manufacturing date is manufacturing date here in this case. And you see I have created the two objects here. So BMW and Audi. So when I say here BMW dot, you see color and manufacturing date is also coming, right? We don't want this to be accessed, but we only want print details to be accessed. So what I'll do is I'll shift this public here. Okay, if you are wondering about how did I do this, So in VS Code you press and hold Alt and then use arrow keys to navigate whatever line you want to navigate between, and this will bring you there. Now in this case, when I use again Audi dot, you see only now print detail is accessible. So what I have done is I have created the object of both the objects using the class, and I am printing the BMW details and I am printing the Audi details separately. In this case, when I run this program, it prints car color is red because BMW was red, right, and its manufacturing date is 1997, as you can see here. Similarly, the Audi part, Audi print detail, it is white and its manufacturing date is 2001. I hope so that this is very much clear. Now listen to this, what is this keyword? This keyword will be pointing towards the calling object. What I mean to say is that when BMW calls the print detail method or maybe the constructor, what happens is that this keyword represents this particular. So this keyword will automatically switch to the calling object. So if BMW is the thing, then BMW dot color, then BMW dot manufacturing date. So only BMW's data is accessed, but Audi's data is not accessed or messed up with. So this keyword reduces the ambiguity in the program, and that is the reason why we use it. Now if you don't want to use this keyword, you can leave this keyword also. You don't have to worry about writing this keyword. Okay, how? I have changed it to C for color and M for manufacturing date. That means now my attributes are not exactly matching. You see, my attributes and the constructor parameters are not matching. In this case, I can just remove this keyword now and I can put that particular thing here. Understood? What I have done is I have changed the parameters in the constructor and I have done what? This color is equals to this C, this manufacturing date is equals to this M. This is far more easier to understand and simple implementation of a constructor without using this keyword. In a nutshell, you use this keyword when you have the parameter and the constructor, the attribute of the class and the parameter of the constructor is exactly the same. When you don't have them exactly the same, you just skip this keyword. I hope so that this is very much clear to all of you. Alright, let us finish this off. So there you go, when I run this program, you see that it still works absolutely fine. I hope so that this is very much clear to all of you. Got it? Absolutely correct. That's it guys for the basic part. Now I am gonna introduce you towards inheritance today, and by tomorrow's class I will be finishing both inheritance and polymorphism. Today I am just gonna explain you a little bit of inheritance. Okay. In the remaining time, in this 15 minutes, I hope so that I will be able to finish up inheritance concept. Tomorrow I will be able to cover polymorphism, and tomorrow's class I will be explaining you about this overloading, overriding, because you see overriding is the place where we will require the inheritance concept also. Understood? Alright. So actually for this Ritesh Kumar that you have asked this, we will do polymorphism tomorrow, because in overriding we would require inheritance concept. So first today we will finish up inheritance and tomorrow we will do that, okay, in the class. But let us finish up the inheritance quickly before I leave this. We have 15 minutes and I will try to finish this today itself. Okay. Let me just close this one, because I will share this concept link for you later on. Today I am going to create a fresh new blank canvas, and here I am going to explain you this. Okay. Now let us start with our today's major concept, that is the pillar of object oriented programming, that is going to be your inheritance. Okay. So very important concept guys. Now listen, what is this inheritance? What is the use of inheritance and what exactly is inheritance? So now you see, inheritance is the phenomenon, biological phenomenon, that same concept is applied into our programming. Now, in the very beginning of the C++ object oriented sessions, I have already told you that object oriented programming deals with what? Real world. Okay? Object oriented programming deals with real world or real life, we say. I am saying real life. For example, you have it inheritance, this pillar. Inheritance is what? It's a real life phenomenon. You have seen this before. Here, next is polymorphism. You have also seen this before in your real life. Third one is abstraction. You have also seen this before. And the fourth one is encapsulation. You also have seen this as well. What I mean to say is that all of these are what? Real world phenomenon. Real world phenomenon. All of these are what? Real world phenomenon. Okay. Inheritance is a real world phenomenon where you see the parents' properties getting into children. Okay. Then you have polymorphism. Everyone has many different forms and state. I will explain you. Okay, let me just clearly explain you this. I will take some time and explain you this. This is very important to understand. These are also called as, guys, these are also called as 4 pillars of object oriented programming. 4 pillars of OOPS. These are also called as 4 pillars of OOPS. Okay. They are also real world phenomenon, because we have studied this, that object oriented programming deals with real life. In the very first session only I have explained you this. Anything in this world can be divided into classes and objects. This I have already explained you, and everything is clear about it already. So these are all your real world phenomenon. Everything in object oriented programming, everything is taken from a real life. These are also called as 4 pillars of object oriented programming. Okay. The very first one, let me just explain you the very first one, inheritance. Today we are going to talk about this a little. Inheritance is the concept of parent giving the properties to the child. The transfer of characteristics from parent to child, the parent-child relationship here is what we call as inheritance. Inheritance is a real world biological phenomenon. You know this. You look like your parents. I look like my parents. Because I have got the trait from my mom and dad. Similarly, you guys also have got your trait from your mom and dad, your characteristics. How do you look? How do you feel? How is your mindset? Everything is given by your parents. With the help of inheritance, it's a real world biological phenomenon. And the same kind of thing we are going to do in programming. I'll explain you in a moment. Through this, we will be able to do a lot of things which are better in programming. I'll explain you. I'll come to that point very soon. Then we come to polymorphism. Polymorphism, on the other hand, is also a real world phenomenon like inheritance. Now, some people will ask, sir, what is polymorphism? So, in simple English, the meaning of polymorphism is, it is a Greek word where it is divided into 2 parts, polymorphs. Poly here means many. Here this word poly means many. Morphs means forms. Anything which has multiple forms or many forms. I am polymorphic in nature. You are polymorphic in nature. What I mean to say is that Right now in front of me, inside this class, you are like a student in front of me. But when you go back to your home, in front of your parents, you are children, or you are just a kid in front of your parent, right? So you have two versions. One is a student version, you have a student form of you, and you have a kid form of you. Understood? This is polymorphism. Polymorphism means something which has multiple forms, because polymorphism is a Greek word. Polymorphs means many forms. More on this in the tomorrow's class, as we will continue it in tomorrow's class. Okay, but this is also a real world phenomenon. Well, every human being is polymorphic in nature. Similarly, we will try to implement the concepts and characteristics of polymorphism into a programming, and we will see what is the advantage of it. Okay. Then comes abstraction. Well, abstraction is what? Abstraction is hiding of something. Abstract means what? Hidden. Abstract means hidden. The definition of abstraction is that hiding up of data and showing the user only its functionality. Hiding the data and showing the user its only functionality. That means I am not going to explain you this concept right now in the terms of technical aspects or coding, but it is also a real world phenomenon. How? You woke up in the morning, for example, you woke up in the morning, you want a coffee, you have a coffee machine at your home, you want a coffee. What you did? You just pressed a button, you got the coffee. You are happy with it. Did you worry about how the coffee was prepared inside? No. Because the coffee machine is automatically doing the job of preparing coffee for you, so you don't have to worry about it. So the process is abstracted. The process of making coffee is abstracted from you, so that you think about its functionality, not the implementation. Understood my point? That is abstraction. Take another example. If you did not understand this, in terms of technical aspects only, this example, you see, you are chatting with someone on WhatsApp. Okay, so you started chatting with someone on WhatsApp, and you saw that, okay, you chatted and you have just done. Okay, now I'm done. So in this case, what happens? Did you worry about, or did I worry about, what kind of code is running behind in the chat? You just chatted with someone and you just happily kept the phone, but did you thought about what type of code or program is running behind this WhatsApp while you were chatting? No, because the code is hidden from you. This process is also called as abstraction. So we are trying to hide up the data and showing the user its functionality. Understood my point, guys? Then comes encapsulation. Okay, encapsulation. The word encapsulate, of course, again came from the real world. In terms of medical science, you might have seen those capsules, that small capsules. I guess so that every person who is watching this video at least have seen a capsule before. Even if you have not taken it, but you have seen it somewhere. The word encapsulation only was created from that capsule only. Where what do? We try to encapsulate the medicine, because that type of medicine cannot be created into tablets or hard shaped pills. So what do? We secure them into a capsule. This is what you call as encapsulation. The word encapsulation only came from that medical science, the capsule. That's a real world phenomenon, correct? Now we are implementing that also in programming, and I'll explain you how that works. So stay tuned for more of that. And both here, encapsulation and abstraction, they both can be understood from the same example of capsule. You see, the process of hiding the medicine, what did I said? Process of hiding of the medicine inside a capsule is what you call as abstraction. Okay, understand the point? And in the encapsulation, it doesn't get accidentally modified. so that it is protected from outside conditions. That is what we call as encapsulation. While I have explained you about this 4 things, but I was not able to take up the inheritance concept. That's okay. 2 days are still left, that is Friday and Saturday. So by Saturday I will finish this off. In tomorrow's class I will be explaining about inheritance and polymorphism, where we will discuss about 5 types of inheritances and 2 types of polymorphism, which is the place where I will be explaining about overloading and overriding soon in tomorrow's class. And why did I not tell you today's class? Because actually you require inheritance for it. So we are already in a process of following some proper sequence. So we will follow the sequence, and by tomorrow we will learn about polymorphism and inheritance. In day after tomorrow's class I will be doing abstraction and encapsulation. It will take very less time and we will conclude the training there. For this week, this will help you to grow in terms of mastering the object oriented programming concepts in C++. Well, that's all for today's class, guys. I will give the link of this notebook, and I know that I have not given the link of the previous video of the notebook. That I will give you very soon. So if you have any other doubts, please do let me know. I am closing the live stream right now, and that's all for today's live stream. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any doubts, please do let me know in the comment section so that I am able to solve it for you. Other than that, that's all. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe as well. And do not forget to come to our DSA live. If you are doing DSA and if you are interested in DSA, please do come live. I will be coming live on after 1 hour in the same channel. Already I have uploaded the thumbnail, and the premiere has already started. So if you are interested in learning DSA for free, I am also teaching DSA in 6 PM class. So if you are interested in learning DSA from me, I am going to teach you all for free. So please do not forget to watch that. Also, we are connected with different companies, and in every video and every live stream I am saying this, that we are also started to providing placements onto it. So if you are interested in getting placed, please do contact us into our about us, and from YouTube you can get the information. And also I will provide the description, all the company's information in our description below. So if you are ready to get placed, and if you think that you will be able to crack it, please do let me know about it. And yeah, that's all for this video, guys, for this live stream, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye, take care, and I'll see you again, guys, in the DSA live. Hopefully you are there. Those people who have missed this, please do go watch our previous live streams also, so that you get to know about it. Well, that's it. I'm closing this live stream, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and yep, I'll see you tomorrow again. Okay, I'll be closing